Greetings everyone, please give a moment to make sure everything's set on up. Looks like things booting on up. Give me a moment to activate the live chat windows. That's all good. This is the replay I want to cast, and let me double check my computer. And looks like everything is good to go. So let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Age Mythology replay. Spawn on the bottom left side as the blue Zeus. We got 133 Divine. Spawn on top right side as the red Amaterasu. We have Visual Jiso. So let's go ahead and get started. When it comes to the major and minor gods, Zeus, of course, is one that we all know. Focus on infantry and heroes, start with 10 favor, gains favor 20% faster, mid-tunes cost 1 less population, make it a bit more spammable. Infantry do a little bit more versus boonings, make them a bit more effective with that. And hoplites move 50% faster. Of course, got Bolt and Olympian parentage. Amaterasu, the less common of the two major gods, of course, one of the newer Japanese ones. Focus on economy and samurai, increases the gold trigger rate per Bushido tier. Samurai and Unomushas gain 300% more experience outside of combat. Shrines increase the content of each nearby resource, effectively increase the maximum possible yield. Samurai and Onimusha gets more health regen in combat. Divine Shield, make a target unit get invulnerability. Appears to be 1 gold per second per Bushido tier. Very nice. And a little bit better Miko's. Miko's something you don't really focus on in combat. When it comes to the major and minor gods, Amaterasu's focused on samurais, so probably see a bit more samurai focus. We got Ame no Uzume, gives you replacements of your myth units. The Whirlwind Weasel, not that great in my opinion. Haven't seen it too effective. It's deceptively slow. This is probably the more useful thing for Amaterasu, is plus 10% hit points, and of course a bit of Bushido experience upon death. That could go quite well with the samurai. And of course better Miko also does help out Amaterasu as well. Minakatomi, I think I butchered that name well enough. You get Shrine Hunt, which is a pretty good economic landmark. You get defensive exotic doggos, as well as some food to collect on up. I keep forgetting that this thing exists. It breathes fire on enemies. I'm pretty sure it's the Age of Empires 3 icon here. Improves villagers gather rate by huntables by 50%. Very nice to have. Ranged soldiers do bonus damage and have 1 extra range, and ranged soldiers and siege rooms cost less. When it comes, looks like he is, or she, Amaterasu is eyeing for Ame no Uzume. Zeus, course, and eye for Athena or Hermes. Zeus can go for cavalry play with Hermes into Dionysus, or you can go focus more infantry with Athena, which gives a bit more range for the hoplites and damage, and of course a bit more pierce armor, which is generally pretty nice in most situations, as opposed to increase cavalry speed and damage here, and a free Pegasus that also sees better and moves faster. Both of them pretty nice. We are going to see Athena versus Ame no Uzume. Ame no Uzume will be researched first. We got Miko here. Let's see. Do we see the Miko empowering here? You can see if we click on this deer carcass. If I can click on the deer carcass. I can't really see how much there, but of course got the shrine here, which is a cashable asset. So it's one way to look at it. You can see this tree has 224 wood on the inside of it, as opposed to a standard 200 piece of wood. 1 Minotaur. Norm the Minotaur deployed on the field. Jason item for this relic. This relic is the grass cutting. What was that? Grass cutting sword. Now I'm familiar with this one. Infantry moves 5% faster. Not a bad one. Looks like my mouse is starting to fall apart. I think I need to get a new mouse. Do have the Minotaur here. Does offer a bold charge of 50 damage. There's Divine Shield. Oh! So, bolt pierces through the Solar Shield. I think it has super high damage resistance, but the Minotaur gored into the sky. It got, and then alley-ooped by Zeus's bolt. That's interesting. There's another Whirlwind Weasel. Jason here to intercept. He is, of course, the anti-myth unit hero. The Whirlwind Weasel does offer 12 damage at a fast attack speed, which is 17.1 as opposed to 17 at slow attack speed. So 15.5, 320 health versus, what was it, 300, 40% hack armor versus 60. So I think the Minotaur will win in a 1v1, primarily thanks to its higher hack armor. The Divine Shield, of course, has a next cost of 10 favors, so it's pretty cheap. I think it missed the villagers there. Does get gored, that one as well. No alley-oop once again. We got the Kitsune biting the lady there. The lady should just turn around and start petting it in the head. Telling it's a good girl. Whirlwind Weasel, another Divine Shield there. It does have a massive amount of health regen active. Doesn't say that there. I'm not so sure how the Divine Shield exactly works. The yellow part is the ability bar. The sign bar is the shield. It says invulnerability shield, but it's really a health shield with high regeneration, but also offers high health regeneration to the unit, which does not say that anywhere. Arc unit to make it temporarily nearly invulnerable, so just super high damage resist through a shield and high health regen. It's a little bit weird way of doing the invulnerability aspect. Could have done a similar way to thing as they do for Frost on the, well, Frost ability from the Norse, from Skadi. But the high health regen makes it so it's pretty useful in these point healing things. You actually may see her too soon. Just need a little bit more favors. Trying to pull back in. 13 health remaining. She has enough for another Divine Shield. May do it right before she gets in the Whirlwind Weasel gets in combat. I'm going to try to pronounce his name. There's Divine Shield as I expected. Does get gored there. The boar is doing a great job just knocking away. Do have a couple units there. The Kitsune does go down. The Weasel has been revived from that statue. Got decent red army here. Northern Minotaurs a little bit outnumbered. Right now has 29 villagers thanks to secondary town center. Paul needs a watchtower on the way. The scout does take a bit of damage there. The Onomusha is taking a bit of fire when it's out of combat. More experience generation, but she does go down there. You get launched there. The bleed damage does not finish off Norm the Minotaur. In fact, if Zeus keeps it alive, Restoration can heal it up in another future engagement. And we've got a good number of units over there traversing around. Whirlwind Weasels. I'm going to try to take a crack at this name again. Kamatachi. Probably got that wrong still. I have hard time with foreign names. Does gore the unit there? Northern Minotaur does get picked off. So does Weasel. And there's a soul returning to the thing. You can see here is already starting to respawn. Takes a significant amount of time. I don't think I highlight that. Yeah, I can't really tell you how long it'll take. Just a long time. Jason's taking some damage. We've got a number of samurai here. Only regular samurai, dark age samurai. No medium samurai just yet. Probably just going to try for just this here. We have a good number of samurai on the field. Good amount of passive Bushido experience. Another shield there to restore this health. She has really been aggressive in that Divine Shield, hasn't she? Pegasus does receive a bit of fire there. Olympian parentage now being researched. Improve the health and health regen of the heroes. Purple is here. Jason's took a bit of damage there. And he still has that relic there, the grass cutting sword. He does have some infantry on the field, which will help out with that now. If he's going to push forward, he might as well just drop the relic on the ground to go pick up later if he wants to push forward with units. Other relics got Horror's Hunting Bow. Faster food from hunting by 5%, not bad. It's free, not much you expect more. Buildings constructed 10% faster, that's nothing too significant, but yet it can still be very nice. Little Cloud Shara, improve pierce armor of your human soldiers by 5%, or reduce their vulnerability by 5%. Very big distinction there. For those who don't know how damage vulnerability works, we'll just take these Dark Age Samurai since they probably have not received any stat increases. This is their inherent damage vulnerability. You can see here, more precisely, that he has 60% damage vulnerability and 90% damage pierce armor vulnerability. If you reduce the damage vulnerability by 10%, it will not increase from 10 to 20%. It will actually reduce the 90% by 10%. So reduce it, so you'll get plus 9% pierce armor. In this case, for the hack armor, where it's 60%, 10% will reduce it by 6%. That would be 10% of 60%. Thus, it will become 46. That is a brief explanation of reduced damage vulnerability. I'm pretty sure it's geometrically applied rather than any sort of multiplicatively applied, which is still geometric. Wrong word. Towns that are under fire, got a good number of these Yui archers pulling the field. Hoplites advancing. We do have Toxapays now on the field as well. Another Divine Shield on this Whirlwind Weasel and gets zapped. We do now have Restoration in return. Townsend took a bit of damage here, which does get healed by Restoration. Townsend will be saved. Sort of repair in combat. Actually, if it wasn't for the Paris, if it was not for those repairs, the town center would have gone down. Good repairs there by Blue. I was way too early. I've got how bulky Samurai are. The stats don't seem too snip in this age, but they're pretty nice. I was used to look at the Dark Age one. They're of course a 4 population unit, which is quite significant. They do have a pretty good alpha strike. I do not have the Saracia, which is going to be very nice. Getting a little extra range means it will strike first versus Samurai, before the Samurai strikes them for big damage. And my apologies if you hear my drink open up. Sorry about that. Armory being established. We have 5 Samurai in the field. Right now, 55 military population for 6-2, 2,400 versus 3,000. 64 villager versus 43, so Zeus is starting to get a pretty good advantage going. We do have this mythological upgrade, the Katagi. Plus 10% hit points on all your infantry units. Very nice for Samurai, who are already pretty healthy. They go up to 228 health. And we do have an age up here. We've got the Raijin. Raijin. Provides the Thunderous Burst, that's the exploding circle ability. You got the Raiju, a 2-tailed doggo. Because Japan has a gimmick of multi-tailed animals. Whoops. Not just the Whirlwind Weasel down here. Since they're can be resummoned for free, might as well be a bit more aggressive with them. Let's see what else is there. You got improve the Raiju, reduce the cost of God powers by 20%, very nice. Infantry carry gets increased hit points by 15%, very nice. As will Life Seal, so very healthy Samurai. Another Miko, more of the Whirlwind Weasels being resummoned. We do have more Yumi Archers, Bushis, and Samurai. Just mix up a little bit of everything that's not cavalry. Zeus is eyeing for some bronze, copper breastplates. Zeus needs a bit more resources to Agion up. If he's going for infantry focus, let's see, Dionysus or Apollo. I do like Apollo because I really do like the Manticore, but it's also more range focus, which against Samurai, more Toxite focus upgrades would be very nice. Couldn't get Hermes, but could go for Apollo. Dionysus does offer 5% hit points for all units, which is very nice. Could I for Tharking horses? Yeah, there's a good number of heroes, so Skyla's or Hydra's probably not a good idea. He is aging for Dionysus. I think Apollo would be better in this situation, but I do really like Manticore. Just an overall excellent DPS unit. Which way forward? Oh, there's Thunderous Burst. He needs another restoration. Townsend is like going down. He's probably going to go for restoration. He has enough manpower, or not manpower, favor for it. Townsend has gone down. He has a good advantage there. No restoration. Jason's going to the Raiju. There's restoration. Samurai here in excellent numbers. Raiju's getting gets Divine Shield. Look like Hercules is smashing in the face. Jason's still on the field. Next stage can get Odysseus. And maybe save these villagers. Going immediately for the high-end mask. More of these villagers going down. Raiju does go down with the Whirlwind Weasel. Villagers who will be next. He's calling a good number of villagers. Villager numbers have been equalized and could go heavily in favor of red now if these villagers go down. Heavy range. We do have some high passes, counter infantry units. Hydra push way forward, the free Hydra. Some of these units being picked on off. Does take out the Whirlwind Weasel. Hydra is still pretty healthy. Villagers and Hoplite trying to deal with the Samurai. We do have another Raiju Blend Field. High passes, Peltas being Blend Field. Peltas is probably, yeah, it does a decent number of Yumi Archers. Just don't go too heavy in Peltas, I would say. Oh, another bolt somewhere. Down here. Does take out that Yumi Archer or Bushi Archer. We have Shinobis who are counter range units, do melee damage, add a little bit of range. Oh no, they do. I guess they don't. They have a burst melee damage. That's what the weird gimmick is. Raiju does knock back some units. I pass this, engages some villagers there. Red's now may lose some villagers. Blues have 52 villagers for 61. So it's in favor of red at the moment. Blue has not rebuilt that town, so there's a good number of farms around it. Granaries, in the meantime, are used as a stopgap. Some of these structures, of course, going on down. More Peltas, more Hypastus. Zeus has plenty of food and gold at the moment. Some wood, some favor. A decent stockpile of favor, I should say. Enough for a bolt. Blue's trying to push his way forward. Town center under siege this time. This time it's reds. Zeus's plus 6% damage against structures may be useful, though most of his forces are ranged. Hydra smashing his head on in. He is angry because he's not being hailed. Villagers are trying to repair this town center. Red's forces heading up over here to engage. Alright, Jupiter 4 does knock back some units there. Bronze summon. Does take out the town center. Two-headed Hydra, but this would be picked off by some of these heroes. Restoration, however, summoned on in, so the Hydra's durability will increase. Looks like the campaign's bench special of Bronze Restoration. Hydra's up to 3 heads, and this is how you get head. Bronze runs aside in 3 seconds. More samurai, got some Naginata riders, as well as more Yumi archers. Hydra can easily be picked off, got some Yumis there, as well as Bushis. Hydra's gone down, does use another Divine Shield on the Raiju. We do have some ninja stabbing these various Toxidays. They're just sort of weird. They have a burst attack in melee. Oh, Samurai got some great shots there. Couple Yumi archers firing away. More high passes on the build queue as well as a fortified town center. Alright, starting to fall back. Need some hoplites mixed on in. Oh. Woven Weasel does slice up some of these villagers. Looks like it's a little bit too many villagers on favor. You do have a bit of a soft cap at 8. So he's gone above, well above the soft cap now. 118 military units versus 79, 48,000 versus 36,000. So red has a decent advantage at the moment. Bronze upgrades as well. I'm not sure what's being garrisoned, ungarrisoned. Something over here. We do have a number of heavy Naginata riders. We do have crenellations research, but looks like no boiling oil at the moment. Hoplites on the build queue. Toxidays and high pastis firing away. Got these ninja slice apart this hoplite. Their base damage is quite low. DPS is high. They are 4 population, so they are quite... take a lot of the population space, to say the least. They don't have much health for their population, but they do have decent pace and a bit of range armor. They do also have a hit and crush damage attack, similar to, say, Age of Empires 3, just generally everything have a torch attack.
Λέγε.
Up here, we got the Naginata Riders pushing way forward. Villagers do get inside the fortress. Odysseus got summoned there. He looks likely will be picked off really quickly. Though he does hold off of the front line for long enough, with homes being paired, he does get a health regen, and with enough fire support the fortress that was not in minimum range, and this watchtower here, he's able to defeat the Naginata Riders. I always forget that the Greek heroes are actually pretty healthy. 2 population, of course, limit of 1, 525 health, which is quite significant in comparison to, say, this Bushi, which only has 96 health. Shinobi straight forward. Raiju gets a pretty good knockback there. Whirling Weasel spins around. Restoration summoned by Blue once again. More hoplites. Various upgrades here. Shoma did find the back line, and Red is going to smash his way through. We do actually have Champion upgrade in Age 3. Amaterasu has managed to get it. Of course, there's a 5th tier for the Shinobi, for the Samurai, and for the Onimusha, right? So we do have Age 4 Samurai. Of course, Amaterasu does get a bit extra gold trickle, 3.5 gold per second, which is pretty nice to have. As effectively, what, 3 villagers, 4 villagers worth of gold income. Infinite, so you don't have to worry about finding gold on the map, which does become a problem eventually in the game. Hercules does go down. Blue's sort of getting split between a rock and a hard place. Shinobi does find the high Pastus. Hoplites come in to reinforce. Villagers are stabbing some of these villagers. Some of these units are being picked on off. I'm hitting this town some now. High Pass is engaging some of these Bushis. More High Pastus, more Petrobolos, and we do have now Dionysia. Raiju here. Have all 3 heroes engage the Raiju. Naginata Riders roaming around. Storehouse now complete. Catapult or Petrobolos engaging. We do have a piggy here, a fully fattened pig. He seems awfully delicious right now. And the town center is taking more fire. It is getting repaired by a pair of villagers. Another storehouse here for better saturation. That gold deposit maybe... looks like one villager can't get... Nope, all the villagers do find a spot. That thing is fully saturated, looks like. Raiju gets a nice little knockback there. Petropol is taking some damage there. I pass needs to focus down those Yumi archers. Another in Divine Shield. Restoration to counter. High Pass is being very well microed, focused on the back line. Front line, looks like Blue's front line will hold thanks to all the restoration. The Shinobi are not going to be very effective versus these hoplites. Of course, they're good against the back line. I think Naginata Riders in that situation is probably just generally going to be better due to the higher mobility, higher health, and all that sort. Lower population consumption. Of course, they are countered by hoplites to a certain extent, but the damage multiplier is not severe, just painful. Blue's trying to get a pretty good force forward. Breaking on through. Divine Shield this time on a Naginata Rider. And Red has resigned this Angrade, saying, "Think of watching," and on to the next replay. Very good replay. I think both those players also rated in 2000 Zelo. It's been a while since I got able to find a game that's above 2000. And a decent length as well. I try to fight for decent length replays, but that's not always a possibility to go along with good. Actually, that name's highly rated, isn't it? Try to go for at least 20. And yep, let's do that one. And the other ones seem on the surface. Don't recognize any of them. That could be good, but I'm gonna take what I can get. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Age Mythology replay. Spawn on the north side as the blue patron goddess. We got Thunder ... I'm assuming the name's not somehow cut off or censored, but that's what it looks like. Spawn on the south side as the red open. We have Dopey with a capital 0. I really do hate this font they use for Age Mythology. The numbers are lowercase, even though they are uppercase here. Yeah, I hate the font they use for Age Mythology. Either way, let's get started. Major and minor gods. Of course, the patron goddess, can't really cast her all too often, is focused on technologies. Towns and citadels provide +5 population, increase their maximum population field. The maximum population field is 300. There is a hard cap. You just never reach it. Monuments, of course, provide a divine shield. Empowered monuments heal nearby units by 50 range and generate more favor, 100% favor. Technologies cost less, and obelisks are 5 less gold, and boots expand faster, so you can really torment your opponent with obelisks. Of course, for your unique upgrade, Flood Nile gets 1 food triple rate, always nice to have. And prosperity is pretty nice for, would it be trying to rush out buildings or rushing out town center? Unusually useful. A very useful Age 1 god power, one of the better ones, strangely enough. It's simple but effective. It affects the resource or really that the Egyptians sort of need. Odin's, of course, the Great Hall units, which is, of course, the cavalry and the heroes. Dwarves and gatherers hunt 10% faster, very nice. Great Hall units generate more favor per battle, which means your heroes do better at their role. Humans and heroes get a slight bit health regen, something just help between fights, nothing too significant. And get 2 raven birdies to fly around. And his unique upgrade improves his Ulfsark's speed and getting a little bit more, or not so little, bonus damage versus myth units. Of course, for him, since he's focused on Great Hall units, keep that in mind. Heimdall is the weaker of the 3 options for the Norse, I'll say, or should say 4 options. He has an excellent god power of Undermine, this is the key aspect to him, and Hari is a pretty good force multiply unit, able to toot their horns and give nearby units damage benefits, which probably becomes a bit more useful for the lasting 5 more seconds. It's one it's hard to evaluate how effective it is. He's more focused on these 2 effects, because everything else here is just sort of sucks. Sentry, wall, and buildings cost less, not important. And 20% faster research and training rate, not really important either. Frasia's probably more likely to be the selected. Forest Fire is definitely buffed from Gold Edition. Mounted Healer, you all know about them. Cavalry can increase speed and hit points, which is good for the, the Great Hall units. And of course, your heroes get plus 10% hit points, as well as enable Goaty early, which is another Great Hall unit. Frasia is likely to call, and does select Frasia. The patron goddess has selected Bast, or Nubis, Black cannot speak. We got Plague of Serpents, which is a very okay god power. Not great. Don't use it to fight armies. It won't work. It sounds like one of the birdies went down. Anubites and Dice Jumping Infantry. Spearmen get a bit of poison damage, which I think is completely worthless. Like 2 damage over 6 seconds. That is completely worthless in my opinion. And if monuments generate more favors, can compound with the patron goddess. Stark slicing apart some of these units. Oh, blue has found a good number of cows. Gotta keep those doggies rolling. Red got a good number as well. Cows do have higher food storage rates, but they still fatten the same rate, so if you can collect up more resources in the field, these will pay off bigger dividends, but they still collect at the same rate. Let's see, blue has age on up. Let's take a quick look at relics. That's a shrine. I think somebody picked up one. Here we go. We do have Sadefari's Sledge. Butcher that. Make your hill forts have no favor. We also got Archimedes' Ledger. Siege would take one less population. That's actually pretty nice. That's probably the best for Atlantean since the Chariot Ballista is classified as a siege weapon as well as a ranged human soldier. First here, slicing apart one of these villagers. We do have the priest here picked up a relic, which is Sistrum of Bast. Villagers are 50% cheaper. Not crazy, but not bad either. It will save you some food. Got a basic wall here by red. How annoying. Pharaoh's in combat. The Pharaoh does have 12 damage, or 13 damage, which is pretty nice. Priest escapes to the tower, and the Pharaoh is, while you want to empower yourself, it still can be a decent emergency defense. Priest is getting healed on up, Pharaoh getting healed on up. We got chicken here. Looks like blue's going to have these villagers perform some magic. They're going to turn chicken into chicken. Also, this wall is going to be a lot less useful seeing he just burnt half of its, the thing about what half of its was up against. Who's going to be eyeing for this town center there? Prosperity has not been selected. Nubite running around. Sort of got hung out to dry. Oh, Lucy's actually going in. That was a jump attack. I'm pretty sure that was a manual cast. And the Valkyrie does pick off the Nubite. Oh, I hear some more obelisks. Black can't speak. Obelisks being pulled on the field to torment his opponent. Granary being established. Does that bush prevent the placement of the granary? Oh yeah, one thing I always forget to mention, forget as well. If you zoom in on berries, you see butterflies. Now we just need sparks to come up and get a feast. And change back to his golden yellow color. Whatever, he may be a little bit wounded right now. I wonder if anybody knows that reference. Spyro's not been a thing for decades. Looks like the Valkyrie does get peppered up a little bit. You have some dwarves and a gatherer moving over here. A new bite biting the dwarves. A couple cuirassiers. More obelisks being south here. Let's see, how much do obelisks usually cost? 5 gold, right? Is it, or is it usually 10 gold? I can never remember. I only focus on this cost when it's the patron goddesses. You got some spooky snakes here. They do 90% less damage versus villagers. They're biting away. They do 5 damage. So the Hersiers are taking, well, damage and slowly being whittled down. It's like sentinels. They're meant to fight raiders effectively in small forces. Huh, wait. They're classified as animals, so the villagers use bows and arrows against the snakes. That's something I didn't realize just until now. They're not classified as Mythian, they're classified as animals, so the villagers have a range attack against them. That's interesting. I think I knew that at one point in time, but I always forget. That favor cost is unusual. Does the patron goddess have Hectate's torches? Because if it's 60, 10% less would be 54. They've got Hectate's torches. Very, very good god relic. Definitely the most fun of the relics, I would say. Like Pandora's Box, I highly recommend you should open up Pandora's Box. There's a dog named Frank inside of it. First here's in decent numbers, but there's a good number of Axemans here. You should use axes to counter axes. After all, the Axeman does counter the throwing Axeman. The throwing Axeman counter the Axeman. Then you can use your Axeman to counter the throwing Axeman, and then you can use the throwing Axeman to counter the Axemans. Simple. Indeed. Axes counter axes. And it looks like he's going to be chopping down that wooden gate. Oh, we do have another age up here. We got Nephitis, which does give access to Scorpion Mans. Spirit of Mod, I'm not sure what that is. Funeral Rites gives you a bit of gold rebate.
Gehrig.
For red, yeah, for Scotty or for Njord. Priest trying to smite that Valkyrie. One needs a priest is one of the original priests. After all, you can see he's covered in soot. Both priests will get hacked apart. But Njord versus Scotty. Scotty does have a very good mythological upgrade in Winter Harvest, plus 1% gathering rate for farms, well 10% for every other food source. Entry axe is nice, plus 1 range and tracking for your throwing axeman. Very nice to have. Valkyries do get some engagements up here. We do have this spot, so we got Shield Maiden Valkyries. Now it does spot the Scorpion Man. Nope, looks like Blue's trying to obtain those cows. You also got Walking Woods and Mountain Giants, which this improves raiding cavalry, getting divine names for raiding effect, as well as Ring Giver, getting Jarl's plus 1% point. It may be better to go for Njord as Odin for more cavalry focus. Of course, that could make you a bit more vulnerable to just spearman focus. We do now have Necropolis for a faster favor generation from the monuments, and medium Axemans. Smiting some of these Valkyries. Normal Valkyries. They do have this slot, Shield Maiden Valkyries, so they have faster health regen as well as higher base damage. So maybe this healthy one should start healing up this wounded one while in combat.
Yow.
Basic walls there, very nice. Just being annoying. It may not be big enough to pull out a gate though. We do now have the Spirit of Mott, improving the priest healing rate by 50%, not bad, as well as making them 30% cheaper. The temple has gone down. We do have Njord being selected for the Mountain Giants and the various cavalry bonuses.
Yo.
All 3 Valkyries do fall back. Like I said, Valkyries just take the time, just heal up everything, particularly themselves. Also, more of Blue's cows are being tipped over. Red's cows are also being tipped over, though some are left to rot. Copper breastplates, more villages by Blue. Right now, Blue does have slight village advantage, but only so slight. Red has a significantly larger force, but the value is actually very similar. Njord has been researched now. We do have now going straight for Thoth. We'll give access to the Phoenix, Book of Thoth, Tusk Fundamentals, and Valley of Kings. Yeah. Valkyries do pull back in time. I really do think they need to take time to heal each other up. They have fast healing rate. Go for it. Mainly have the 2 healthy ones heal the 2 wounded ones to disperse the healing a little bit more easily. Push way forward, but most of these Valkyries, something's gonna go down. At least one went down, the others would escape out of there. It took quite a bit of abuse there. Mountain Giant advancing. In the middle of one of these engagements, he could just simply pop out the Walking Woods and start taking down some buildings. Oh, Walking Woods there. It can be used in combat, they're not great though. Yeah, there's not a lot of force there. I'm not sure what the Red's this fight's supposed to accomplish for Red. We do have now the Ancestor God Power also summoned. Got the Ring Giver. Thoth is almost complete. And right now, without any Goatee, Odin's gonna have a bit of trouble versus any Phoenixes. Of course, the Patient Goddess does also have access to the Meteor God Power. Very, very good God Power. Some Herseers over here. Building a house, you monster. Lou just may need to be a bit of a homewrecker. Oh. Guess I was the Raven getting smite out of the sky by all those priests. There's the Phoenix. Phoenix, of course, does offer 50 damage and 4 AoE. A pretty good amount of damage. Of course, range is not great. Not great tracking there versus the moving targets. Forming Axeman Sonic Gauge. Does also offer a good amount of crush damage. We do now have champion chariot archers now floating in the field. Don't think they have bow and bow, right? No, they do not. Phoenix Egg getting scrambled. Harris Wall seconds being cleaned on up. These villagers are backing on off, whilst they're collecting a bit of gold. Pile of bronze upgrades here. Got some Jarls, Huskarls, and Throwing Axemen being deployed in the field. Over here I do have Valley Kings. Causes barracks and big strong to spawn additional units when they're empowered. Is very nice. So doubling, just having your Pharaoh empowering one of these structures can be very nice. I wonder if can Ra get Thoth? If he can, then I wonder if his priest can also get the double empowerment as well. Maybe not. Can't remember if Ra can get Thoth. Wait, I could just look that up. If I was quick enough. No, he cannot get Thoth. We do have a Prosperity God of Power being put on field. Is that the first one? 60, maybe second one. Let's say trees migrating with the villagers. Blue has a good number of force there. Mountain Giant's still alive. Gather's starting to get hit now. Red does have these Jarls backing off. Has another group of villagers over there. Gather is getting some hits. Pile of upgrades here. I'm just glad he didn't go for Serpent Spirit. I think that upgrade is completely worthless. Jarls moving around. They're just all Jarls, some medium Jarls. We know those chariot archers going along the flank.
Yeah.
Jarls in close distance. Unlike most cavalry, they don't gain bonus damage, but they are a bit more heavier. A meteor. Direct hit in the formation. Knocking back some forces. Gain some multiple hits there. Misses this formation. But a good chunk of blues or red's army is now cleaned on up. So according to this, red still has superior military force in the field. Though if my offhand math is incorrect, I think it's bugged out because you see 168, 100. That suggests to me 100, now over 180. This is well above, or over 280, so that's well above that. So I think that number is bugged on. By the way, it says it's higher as well. Can't say for sure if that's accurate, so can't really rely on this up here. It might be involved because of the walking woods. You have some spearmans engaging these Jarls. They are medium spearmans. He's also going for some elephant upgrades, so we may see some elephants, reduce their cost, reduce their population consumption. Jarls straightforward, a bunch of great Jarls. We've got some Huskarls being put on the field. Oh yeah, that is super bugged now. Now we got over 7,000 military units for blue. What is that bug? First red was bugged, then blue decides to outshine red when it comes to bugged units. I have no idea what happened there. Was it the meteor? Did meteor cause that to bug out? Got another Phoenix on the build queue. Iron upgrades on the way. Oh, got some allegedly stone walls there. Priest getting some healing in the combat. Do have another Phoenix pushing forward. There's a lack of Goldie over here. Goldie engaging the Phoenix. Every attack on town center now. Power or Miggle strongholds providing some fire support. Does have crenellations researched. Another chariot archers. Huskarls straightforward. Maybe just regular raiding cavalry would be pretty nice to help deal with the chariot archers since they do go in with range units, range human soldiers. Chariot archers are classified as range soldier as well as cavalry. Total battery straightforward. They do have cost one less population. 2 population is pretty cheap on that aspect. Losing some villagers here. Looks like blue's out of gold. Can no longer repair the town center. There's a gold deposit here with 14,000 or 1,400 remaining. We got a large gold deposit there that needs to be reclaimed. So it is these relics. Priest getting some good amount of healing here. So it looks like blue's lack of gold is going to cause some issues. Red right now has some food gold to work with, and a decent amount of wood, and a pretty good supply of gold or favor at the moment. He's eyeing for the hero hit points. He is also eyeing for tire. Do you have more trade archers being put in fields, as well as more camel riders? Level 4 trying to be established now. You have the war elephant sieging down some structures. Warriors forces advancing way forward. Border banner is about to knock the new gold stronghold. Not too much gold remaining there. More walking woods being summoned for red, and these are effectively cheap, somewhat free battering rams and siege weapons. They do offer decent crush damage. So really start obtaining that gold deposit. And Trooper, with the amount of girls he's fighting against, should be going for a decent number of spearmen. Spearmen do actually have a similar or same movement speed as the chariot archers. So Blue should have been eyeing for spearmen for quite some time. Is going some camel archer or camel riders to also counter cavalry units.
Yo.
Walking Woods pushing forward, got some priests here to smite them though. Level 4 taking some damage there. Another towns that are trying to be established will be intercepted. Scarl's overall a good choice. These camels are just regular camel riders, not even heavy camel riders.
Skipper.
Blue has another Phoenix being redeployed from this egg here. However, does have a good amount of pierce armor. I think the egg will be cracked or smashed before it gets deployed. Mount Giant push forward, looks like a fresh one. Villagers trying to shank this little fort here. Gold deposit still here. Still plenty of gold left there. Catapult engage some hill forts. And Odin, I had enough resources to age on up. 1200. He had 1,000 something gold. Or break down this town center. And Blue has resigned. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Before I get to the next replay, I do need to use the restroom. Please give me a moment. My apologies, I'm back. Let's see, do I need to get another drink? Yes, I do. This one will do. And let's find another replay. Something noticeable, something popped up over here. Let's see. Why are some of these names blue? It's ever slightly above average. Let's see, any of these names seem familiar? No. Let's see. None of these names seem super familiar, so just go from the top. Try to find something at least 1200 and hopefully above 20 minutes. Let's keep on that one. That's probably the best one I can find. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Age Mythology replay. Spawn on the south side as Blue Gaia, we got Kalezia. Spawn on the north side as the Red Ra, we got Big KO. The Big Knockout. I have no idea what that's going to mean. Either way, when it comes to these major and minor gods, Gaia. Focus on economic and building starve heroic citizens, and promoting citizens is 25% cheaper, making them more effective doing what to do their part. Economic guilds and its technology are 30% cheaper, and of course research in any age, so very nice. I also have to mention as well, you can always go for Rhea in age 3, giving access to early fanatics, so effectively get almost everything you need in age 3 without needing to go age 4, just missing out the iron upgrades and champion upgrades, but still minimizing needing to go to age 3. And you get Lush, provides some health regen. Of course, Lush can be turned into Creep here. Ra is the Miggle Stronghold units and empowerment, so your cavalry units and empowerment. Laborers gather from berry bushes 20% faster, make them a bit more efficient. Camel riders, chariot archers, and war elephants have 15% more hit points, very nice to have. Pharaoh empowered monuments also empower nearby buildings, 60% efficiency of the pharaohs, and priests can also do the same 60% efficiency as the pharaohs. Very nice to have. For his unique upgrade, your villagers gain more pierce and hack armor. Not super great, but it's okay. Makes your villagers a bit more resilient to raids. And you get to summon rain. When it comes to major minor gods, I am more biased towards Leto than Oceanus. Most players tend to go to Oceanus. Leto offers a pretty good god power of Spider. This thing is underrated in my opinion. After all, it goes 0, 3, 6, 9, 12. It increases by 3 per cast. And think about it, even with that 9 favor, 12 favor, to kill all 3 human soldiers, assuming in the form of traps. Name me a myth unit can generally reliably kill 3 human soldiers with the same favor cost. It still gets pretty cost effective pretty quickly. Not to mention you get a pretty good amount of pierce armor for your human soldiers, as well as some extra favor generation. Oceans, of course, gave the Carnivora, Servant Caladria, good healer units, weightless mace, makes you counter cavalry units, which in this case could be useful against Ra, since he's more focused on cavalry. The Miggle Stronghold units. Bite of Shark is not that great, plus 5% damage for Marmellos, Fanatics, and a bit of bleed damage, not important. Of course, your heroes get double the effect. And Frontline Heroics makes your promotions for infantry cheaper. I am definitely biased towards Leto. Rhea's Crown. Speaking of Rhea, town centers and villages cost less and generate a slight bit of favor. Very nice to have. Let's see. This one here is Demeter's Throne. Makes your economic guilds, manners, and drop-offs just cheaper. Nice to have, nothing too critical. We do have the Fur of Boyi. Heroes get health regen plus 0.25 health gen. Nice to have, probably pretty nice for the Atlanteans, but Rock used that for his priest and it was Pharaoh. I wonder if that affects the priest, the son of Osiris. If it does, that would be one of the few ways you can heal up the son of Osiris. Oceanus being selected. You have also a blanket of Emperor Zoe. Makes your buildings get more crush armor. We got Fa. I don't think I covered the initial ones for Raw, did I? Fa provides shifting sands, a pretty good Age 2 god power, one of the better ones. The Wadjet, I hate the Wadjet. People like the Wadjet, I hate the Wadjet. Improve your Axeman, improve your Spearman, and improve your Slinger. Very, very nice to have. And this makes your farms cost 50% less as well, making it easy to transition to them. Fa is a good way to, good H2 minor god. You get excellent god power and excellent upgrades. You just get a really crappy myth unit, which people like. I hate it. I find the Wadjet horrible.
Skopos.
We got, of course, the watchtowers, of course, to keep watch. Spot's almost complete. Man, did I left my drink over? There it is. There's the Wadjet. 12 damage. Horrible poison damage. Well, it is actually better on the Wadjet than, say, Spearman, other poison sources. It's still not great. You've got a pretty bad DPS. You are pretty squishy. And you do actually have 18 range. That's the only thing that's going for the Wadjet. It is a myth unit that actually has range. I still hate it. Then I forget to mention how much I hate the Wadjet. Do you have the shot off of being researched here? Very nice to have. No, the patron goddess can't get fought, can she? Does go quite well with prosperity, though. Villagers migrating down south for the winter. What's getting hit? I'm not sure what got destroyed. Trying to listen for the sound effect. What's getting hit? Is there a boar that's attacking something? I was trying to figure out where that sound effect was coming from, and I had no idea. Yeah, I have no idea. I was just trying to shift back and forth. I'm wearing a headset, and I think my audio is mono in the stream and the recordings. But I was trying to figure out where it's coming from. I was like, going right here. Okay, here in my left ear. Went right here my right ear. And I just still could not find it. Wait, was it this guy here? No, it's had a pig sound effect, and that's definitely a cow thing. There was a pig here, but I didn't see destruction property there. I had no idea. Caladria and Wadjet trying to take out, or Priest and Wadjet trying to take out the Caladria. Oh, we got maybe it was right here, and the sound effect was really bugging out. I have no idea at this point. It looks like Blue is trying to steal this food here. Very bold. I do like players who try to go with the food on the field first. But still, that is very dangerous. Well, looks like both players sort of just ecoing up. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Do not have Thea queued on up. Get the Dryad and Symphilian Bird. When it comes to the age up, I'm going to slow down a little bit. Thea gets access to her Herspedi's tree with Gauge Dryads, which causes 0 population. Excuse me, a Mythium that causes 0 population. Symphony Bird, a flying bird that causes bleed damage. But size improves your oracle's favor. Poseidon Secrets make your cavalry cheaper. And Lands of Stone makes your cavalry have increased damage and a bit of snare effect. Very nice if you want to go for more cavalry focus. My apologies, hit my microphone again. If Ross sees what Gaia Age is up to, it would probably be a good idea for him to eye a camel riders who are anti-cavalry units. Let's see, what can support out that? Some dried bricks make your buildings increase hit points, reduce their cost. Nice, but nothing critical. Dark Waters is probably be very useful for counter cavalry units. Camel riders as well as caravans get plus 50% hit points and a bit of health regen. And of course, you get the laser crocodiles. First, the Pest Shows, then it gets upgraded to Pet Sobix. Thanks, Grant. Or it's Commit. Gives access to Citadel. Pretty nice upgrade to Town Center. Scarabs. Let's see. Scarabs get a lifesteal. Myth units gain lifesteal for 25% damage. Scarabs get additional 75%, so Scarabs get 100% damage. Huh, is that Rhino Stagros icon? Does it become? Either way, Sling the Sun gives your slings more bonus damage against infantry, which the can see Windfall Fall, which does give slingers potential bit of divine damage, and Chariot Archers get +2 range, which is actually pretty nice. I do think, yep, he's going for Sobek. I think that is a better option, particularly when he sees Thea right here. Says with advancement of Thea. Sobek is going, he's probably going to feel really good that he selected Sobek. Almost like the people tend to go for Thea more than Rhea, and I'm the outlier Gaia who likes the other minor gods. Either way, you got a Symphony Bird, some Dryads, Marmellos, Caladria. Barracks now being salvaged there. Do you have Lord Nomocontineris ready to age up and pump out some big old strongholds, start getting out those camel riders. Poseidon Secrets, Lance of Stone. It's going for Axemen. With our cast division, we know Spearmans would be better. We got the rock here. Throw a Ragnar rock and roll. And the Pestuchos. A fan favorite, because who doesn't like laser crocodiles? Oh. You load up the crocodile. You can see here the birdie does have the flag in his beak. I was not expecting to load up the crocodile. There's really no purpose to it. And we do actually have some camel caravans, early camel caravans. Various upgrades here, including medium range. Destroyers. We do have a fortress here, which has a garrison. There's probably destroyers inside of it. 2 destroyers. I wonder, what type of destroyers? Are they just dark? Yeah, they're just Dark Age destroyers. Guy has immediately queued up Atlas. I prefer Hecate, because I really do like Tartarus Gate. Tartarus Gate is pretty good in late game. In big combat, you don't throw it onto where in a opposing army or even where the structure is. You want to throw it in the middle of the trade line, because it's a great way to deny the trade. Not the end of the trade line, they can just simply repurpose somewhere in between. You put it in the between part, they can't repurpose the trade. You have elephant. We all know how sadistic elephants are in real life. We do have now the heavy Contarius, which rewards stabbing some of these laborers. Rock, of course, can't engage. Does have divine protection at least. Good number of Red's villagers gone down. Red's down to 35 villagers. He has 2 villager queues going. He has lost so many villagers. I looked away for a moment. He lost so many villagers. to have that laser croc to provide some fire support. Going some more camel riders. Needs more camel riders. Axemen will diff the wrong call, but luckily they're taking fire for the camel riders. And we do actually have stone walls being researched. Very nice. We're already improving the walls health points like from 600 to what? 2,000? 100 plus 100%. So suggest goes up to 1,200, which is very good. And so of course improve their hack armor as well, giving them from 50 to 55%. 1,200, 55%. We do have the cameras heading up north and getting some of these heroic citizens. They do escape out through the gate. Cameras do not have dark waters just yet. Do now have the medium cavalry peltist now being employed in the field, good counter cavalry units. And actually she has cancelled Atlas and going for Hecate, very nice. Going for the destroyers. Over here I do have some destroyers, they are just medium destroyers. Temple taking some damage there. But the destroyers are going to be destroyed. At least Red does have some trade caravans going as another form of civilian income. Right now, Blue has twice the amount of civilian population in the field. Go for Hecate, going for Weightless Mace. Raw has now deployed in the rain. Town Center. Oh, the Town Center got destroyed there? I thought it was still alive. Must be going crazy. Blues Village is heading up north, 190 population, but at 122 versus 103, or 203 versus 205. Yep, Blue is in pretty good position. Probably should go for fortified towns just soon. Going for some bronze upgrades. Not bronze, copper. Very big difference. One includes 10, the other one does not. Heavy war elephants being deployed in the field. Heavy infantry being researched by Gaia. One thing can go quite nicely right now is Fanatics, good against infantry and cavalry. And so is Mickle more siege works. I wonder how got a line of watchtowers here. How well these siege will works. Guess we'll find out soon enough. No boiling oil. Of course, can always go for Ballista Tower. Does load up the rock with a unit of some sort. Actually, there's 6 elephants inside of the, or 8 elephants inside of that rock. He has to be very careful. The Terma could shoot it down. He coming in for a drop, and all of a sudden, elephants just pop on out. We got Parapetros. Tartarus Gate now summoned. Sending a villager flying, as well as some Tartarus spawn. War elephants are a little slow to spawn.
In which
Oh, we do have more rain being sent by red. Blue has these counter cavalry there. That should be a good unit to keep on fighting these war elephants. Tartan spawn still coming on in. Did hit the Tartar gate a little bit, but the Tartan spawn did clean up the siege tower. Blue's now pulling out some fire siphons. More Petstros being deployed in the field. Still no Pet Sobek upgrade. Those look the rock once again. Ready to Ragnarok and roll. Town center goes down again. Fire siphons push forward along the flank. Some fanatics being deployed in the field. Argus archers being deployed in the field. I suppose more counter-kelpeltis. Bronze upgrades as well. And the elephants will destroy the Tartan gate.
Engage.
Osiris now being researched by red. And there was a bit of chaos there by the Lampedes. Lampedes offer a good amount of range damage and divine damage. And Hecate does offer a upgrade, improved attack speed of myth units, effectively increasing their DPS. Heroic Fanatics and Heroic Termas.
Go.
Fanatics and Kelpeltis both good in the situation. Fanatics, of course, a bit more generalist. Kelpeltis are very specialized. Fire Scythe. Oh, wait. Apparently, the rock can be berserked by the Lampedes. And is that permanent? Is that a permanent frenzy? The rock is stuck in the air with so much stuff in here, and I'm pretty sure if it crashes the ground, everything dies. Okay, has subsided there, needs to dismount immediately. Lampedes threw some bolts up to it, it's down to 80 health. Needs to drop off. The Pharaoh needs to heal that rock, drops it off. That ride's done for. Gotta find another chopper. I tried using the rock as a... actually tried to use the rock as a unit, but it's not going too great, honestly. Petstros does zap the Lampedes a little bit. Quadra does heal her up, though. Pharaoh Priest can start picking up the Lampedes. The Lampedes have been very good. 800 damage. And red does back the game now. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. And I probably have time for one last replay tonight, so let's hopefully find a good one. Yeah, I never thought the Lampedes could have chaos the rock there. I thought I guess Divine Protection prevents God Power is not a direct intervention. That name is blue. Decently rated. But 18 minutes, let's see if there's anything better than that. Isn't leche milk? Am I stupid? The answer is yes, but am I incorrect? Likely. That's a good rate one. That's probably the best I'm going to find. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Age Mythology replay. It's on the right side as the blue Thor. We got PW. That is a 0 because it's lowercase. Z. I don't know how to spell pronounce that. Pals. But Pow would be PO or P0. No idea. And spawn on the left side as the red Amaterasu. We got Dagon. Wasn't it DOD Dagon? I guess not anymore. Oops, I mean to fast forward. When it comes to the major and minor gods, Thor's course focus on dwarves and armory. Start with dwarves that gatherers. Dwarves cost less and gather almost, but not as fast as gatherers for food and wood. So, going straight to dwarves is a good possibility. Dwarven armors can build in any age, and research upgrades in any age. Armory upgrades cost less. You get free dwarf per dwarven armory upgrade, and have another set of researches. Unique upgrade improves her sphere's melee damage and favor generation. Amaterasu is... trying to think, my mind is melted. Economy and samurais increases gold trickle per Bushido age or tier. Samurai Onomushas generate more experience outside of combat. Shrines improve the capacity of nearby natural resources. Onomushas and samurai get a bit more health regen in combat. Unique upgrade is improves Hiko's training and healing time. Not very important at all. It's a pretty bad upgrade. The solar shield's pretty nice to make a certain unit just not want to die. When it comes to the minor gods, Thor of course more focused on economic upgrades. So any sort of he has queued up Forseti. Forseti is the god of justice. Focus on infantry. You get healing spring. Trolls troll your opponent. Improve infantry and hero speed. And Erdman berserks increase hack armor. Very nice to have. And of course more troll stuff. So armor and speed for infantry units. Amaterasu tends to go for Ame no Uzume. Ame no Uzume provides, I forget how to pronounce this. This tree resummons your myth units for free, given an extended amount of time. Infantry units can increase hit points and a bit of Bushido experience upon death. Very handy indeed. And of course, improve your Mikos, which Amaterasu is also more focused on Mikos as well. Whirlwind weasels are okay, they're not great in my opinion. Mina Katomi, probably that name so well enough. You get decent land god power here. Give you deer instead of a upgraded version of a farm, really. As well as some exotic doggos with defense. Each one I think gets spot up to 7 or 5. It's a decent number of defense, which does stack per shrine. You get this weird flamethrower wheel thing. I can't remember what exactly it does. Faster hunting rate, reduce cost of ranged soldiers and siege weapons, and increase range and damage for your ranged soldiers as well. So both of them pretty nice, but looks like Amaterasu is eyeing for Mina Katatomi. Still probably butchering that name well enough. And this will be complete. Actually, she is also eyeing for Kagura. Butchering that name still. Can't really pronounce foreign. Faster training and faster healing for Mikos. Mikos are more close to a heroic citizen or villager rather than as a combat unit. Don't use them for combat. They may have high multipliers, but 8 damage, slow attack speed, slow movement speed, and low health. Yeah, they're not a combat unit. See here, these berry pushes capacity is increasing thanks to the Miko. And there's actually a good number of shrines in the field. Looks like you are heading up to the forest up north. Good to head over to the deer deposit there to improve the capacity there. There's that flame wheel. Let's see. Crush damage and area damage? Is that special attack? Doesn't say charge attack. Does it only have crush damage? If only it's crush damage, it's not going to be very good with human soldiers. You may want to wait and see if it attacks anything that damage type changes, because 35% crush damage. Let's see, Herseer, 99% crush armor. Even the myth units have 80% crush armor. Like this kitsune. I would say singular, kitsune. Plural, kitsune. And we've got some goats being summoned back. Red has 11 goats. Blue only has the 5 goats. Oh, there's 2 more there, so 7 goats. Goats, of course, the goat. The kitsune is starting to nip against the Sark. Troll, trying to troll him. And the kitsune will fall back. More Curseirs, copper weapons. Bushi here, kitsune here. The kitsune do provide a nice little aura to improve the speed of nearby units. More Bushi there. Where did that flaming wheel go? There he is. It's a wheel. Shouldn't it be spinning? And should be rolling around? Probably start barfing up fire rather than spewing fire at that rate. Raiding cavalry moving around. There's actually a full cliff face there, so the only entrance point is through right here. And over here for blue, this is more of the same aspect, but far more open and direct path to this town center. Granted, there's a direct path to this town center as well. So with a little bit of walls here, the Mikos could establish a decent amount of favor generation over here. We do now have the saltwater springs. We don't see the Shrine of the Hunt. This is something you don't want to take time and hold on. You want to build these actually a bit more often. I'm pretty sure the wolves are uncontrollable as well, so a decent defense. So building a shrine here just to be empowered would be a great idea. It does take time to train those doggos. This still does say crush damage and will get bashed in the head. Did do some damage there, so it looks like it does have some sort of anti-not booting attack. Braggy now on the build queue. Red's backing on off. We do have 2 Onimusha, 2 Yumi Archers, 2 Samurai, and 2 Bushi. So we've got 2-2-2 build. You got a Yari here. Does slice apart that Ulfsark. Troll deploy on the field, and we'll have a hard time trolling his opponent when being next to some heroes. And it looks like Red Force will be largely cleaned up, although maybe going to get the boost to retarget towards these trolls. Does Divine Shield Yumi Archer. It looks like Red's doing far more effective than I expected. Samurai are always hard for me to estimate since they're a 4 population unit. And this force is very high population costing units, so the force is small but deceptively effective, so I grossly underestimated Red's fighting force there, honestly. Still lost, but they did much better than expected. Yari Spearman, there we go. Raiding Cavalry does get sliced apart. Amaterasu has plenty of favor for more Divine Shields. I would like to see the Shrine of the Hunt. At least the deploying on Shrine of the Hunts would also offer deer to start spawning. It can be a great alternative to farms. Not as spammable, but it can at least start tiny holding you over until you want to start building farms. Not to mention, if you have a couple villagers collecting from the deer as the game continues out, it means you're grabbing less resources from the field, delaying the need for farms through that aspect as well. Up here would probably be a great spot since it's likely an area for the town center as well. Here we go. We got some deer here. And I'm pretty sure the Amaterasu, yep, the Amaterasu Mikos will start empowering, fattening these deer as well. Combos very well for Amaterasu. And I'm pretty sure these dogs are not controllable, these wolves. These exotic doggos. 15 damage, slow attack speed, they're free defenders. They will respawn, I think it does cap out as around 5? Can't remember though. Yeah, if I were to highlight this force, which is all civilians here, it does not grab the wolves. If I were to get the military units mixed on it, still doesn't grab the wolves, so the wolves are uncontrollable. Guess they're old wolves, and you can't teach dogs new tricks. Old dogs new tricks. Great Hall takes some damage there. We do have this shrine going down, as was the Miko. Divine Shield summoned onto a Samurai. We do have medium upgrades available for Amaterasu. Raiding Cavalry moving around, got a custom housing here. Oh, he actually killed off a deer there with his military units. That probably was a misclick. Not necessarily because the deer being affected by spoilage, which is true. It's more the fact that he just had a momentary lapse of not running away from the opponent's army. Long house, a very long house, and a very short house. Yumi archers, more samurai now being deployed in the field. Very nice. More samurai gets on the field, more Amaterasu's experience starts coming on in. And she can, of course, get heavy. In fact, she can get up to tier 5 units in aged tier 2. Healing spring deployed in the field. Very nice. Dwarven breastplates, improving hack armor. Probably something she should have gone a bit more sooner. It's 15%. Though it affects only the Erdmen and the Berserks, the Ulfsarks, which is the, of course, DPS and the Spearmans. Hunter Strength, increasing the damage of his ranged units. They also can be upgraded. Let's see, does reduce costs, does increase their damage by 10% and range by 1. So 20 range archers, similar to the Atlantean Arcus archers, but cheaper and slower attack speed. Before some engage, do you have some Yari Spear mix on in? Perseus trying to push the way forward. Yumi archers trying to back on off. Perseus gets good hits there. We do have a very large number of throwing axemen there, so more Yumi archers is probably the way to go. Miko here on the front line for a good bit of healing. Wow, that's a lot of wolves. Apparently, it's the number of 8 wolves. That's quite a pack of them. It may be worth it to try to get out another Miko in this region to get out some more Shrines of the Hunt. I mean, if you get enough wolves, you got your pack there to defend you. Ooh, that Miko took some hits there. Luckily, the Amaterasu does offer faster healing rate. Up to 9 wolves. Blue has now aged on up, has gone for bragging, which does include the flaming weapons. Amaterasu. I think Amaterasu's Dragon's a better choice, though Hashiman's a good choice as well. Since Amaterasu is more focused on Samurai, this can provide Samurai increased hit points and lifesteal. Hachiman does improve heroes. as well as some ranged soldiers, which does also combo well with the H2 minor guard selection. In this case, remember throwing axe on the field, Blue's going heavy in throwing axemen to counter the samurai play, so going for a Hachiman may be the better option right now to improve the range soldier capability. Storm Goldmine, Divine Shield. Divine Shield on this Miko. Mikos are anti-myth units, but they're really also very squishy. Looks like this area is no longer obtainable. Good number of Naginata riders, definitely good call against all the throwing axemans. She does have heavy units. They do have good multiplier versus ranged soldiers. Naginata riders going straight for the dwarves. And you have now Rajan being pulled in the field. Divine Shield on one of the Naginata riders. Throwing axemen pushing over here. Yumi archers. This force needs to start heading over here. Troll trying to troll these Naginata riders. Looks like throwing axemen are falling back. Blue sound being called down a good number of civilians. Red only has the one town center going. Blue does have one of the one town center going as well. I wonder if these wolves are classified as myth units. Doesn't look like this. Maybe. I'm just wondering. Mina Katomi can also be researched by Susanoo, right? Or does he get Ame no Uzume as well? And never mind. I was thinking, would the wolves there get affected by Susanoo's divine damage? But I think he doesn't get access to Mina Katomi. Just can't remember at the moment. Just theorizing some ideas. We do now have the Hana mask being researched, increasing the infantry hit points and lifesteal. Those guys got ripped apart, mostly to the alpha strikes. You now have the battle boars being established. A good number of battle boars, 3 battle boars. And we actually seen the Thunder's presence being researched, improving the speed and damage of the Raijin. Rajus get plus 35% damage, plus 10% speed. How fast can they get? 10% speed, so 5.5 increases by up to almost 6? That's pretty fast. Oh, Thunderous Burst there and pretty good hit. Going straight for the Healing Springs. Going to be trying to eat it from next to it. That's not... It's going to be painful. He needs to start attacking. And we've got Fling Weapons by Blue. Another quintuple battle board. Don't think I've ever seen this many battle boards in the field. There's going to be some serious knockback around. Great for throwing axemen as well. Throwing axemen is going to be disrupting the front line. Throwing axemen is going to be just killing everything. Excuse me. Yumi Archer's trying to fall back. Battle Boars bucking around some more. More bucking around. Raiju charge away forward. The Raiju do have quite a bit of extra bulk to them. They're 6.1 movement speed, very nice. Divine Shield on one of the Rajan. Both players are going for age 3 myth units. I don't think it's been a while since the last seen leagues many age 3 myth units. There's the time people spam out age 2 or age 4 myth units. Rarely from age 3 myth units, honestly. Great knockback there. Throwing Axeman getting knocked around quite a bit. Izu's taking a little bit of damage there. Yumi Archer's firing away from the high ground. Another healing spring there. That's actually not a horrible idea right now. Usually it's not a gunfight you want to play out more than once, but he's taking a bit of damage there thanks to those Rajan. That's a good number throwing Axeman. I'm trying to think. These guys need to fall back. He needs to fall back to Miko's get a pretty good amount of healing going. Yumi, heavy Yumi or horse archers don't do bonus damage versus range. They have 14 damage. And they do take up 3 population. Yumi archers do 12 damage, but have 50% multiplier, but slow attack speed of 25% multiplier. So plus 25%, so let's just round up to 10. Of course, they are 2 population. Another thunderous burst there. Well, that's a lot of knockback in AoE, and AoE healing. Gotta make sure to maintain next to that healing spring. It has now subsided, but still, that's a lot of damage. Healing spring's getting a lot of healing. No marker of healing recovered, health restored. Rajan pushed forward, another divine shield there, knocking back the formations. There's been so much AoE in this game, it's actually sort of hard to tell. All the forest puppers went down there though. You now age up, Tyre, Fenris Wolfbrood, Berserker Gang, and Bravery. I mentioned Thimblewinter. Rajan push way forward. Nice little bit of bucking around. Right now I'm wondering, if Raju can get up to 6.1 movement speed, the base movement speed of a Kitsune is 6, and with Susanoo with double movement speed, I wonder how fast Raju's can get. Can they get up to, with double Kitsune Aura, can they get up to like 7 point something movement speed? With Susanoo's also upgrade as well? How fast can these doggos go? 2-tailed dogs with 9-tailed foxes? Just a pile of fluffy tails. You have now Okay, how do you pronounce this? Take Miyazuchi. Was that name well enough? Tyre's been deployed in field. We do now have the Thimblewinter here. We got doggos. Maybe a bit of a dog-eat-dog world. Got 10 doggos here. Of course, these are defensive. Blue's now Red's pushing forward over here. Doggos engaging doggos. If you archers pushing forward, do now have the Samurai Slash, which could be dropped right there. Kills off all those throwing axemen. Talk about even more AoE. Or I should say Take Miyazuchi AoE. That was horrible. Never mind. Boris backing on off. We do have, of course, the heavy stats, almost champion. And there's our Surah deployed in the field. Serves pretty good mobile support unit, though relatively slow. Lord's getting up all these delicious deer. Champion infantry, bronze shields, throwing axemans. Over here we do have 10 fist sword. So I'm gonna do plus 10% damage and does one massive sword strike upon death. Three more battle boar over here. We got a troll being on the field, but they're not cave trolls. Cave trolls are pretty nice for their AoE as well. Let's not push it forward. Good number of shinobi here, which are good anti-range units, but these are throwing axemen. They do pierce hack damage. They more or less counter each other. The Asura push right forward. Of course, does provide a bit of bombardment with a bit of AoE damage to go along with it. So that range attack may not do AoE. The Asura does go down there. Miko's on the front line trying to get some good healing done. And they are doing a pretty good job of that. They're just getting hit by a bunch of axes. Maybe Samurai push right forward. There's Massive Sword Strike. Which that gives a pretty good strike. I think that's the same charge attack. So you get a charge attack upon attack, charge attack upon death. Another Asura push way forward. There's right now Asura overlords. Got a ballista deployed in the field. Two archers firing away. Throwing axeman here does use divine shield into the Asura, rapidly regenerating its health as well as providing pretty good shield. See some blue flames, so it's got the Exorcist firing away. Which offers good crush damage and a bit of divine damage with AoE. He's effectively a magical grenadier. Champion Naginata Riders push way forward, Yumi archers firing away, more Asuras being deployed in the field. Another Asura being... Unless he's a pop cap, fortified town centers. Blue right now has more town centers, 100 or more max population, but does not have the forces in the field. Going for more Erdmen, counter cavalry units. Champion infantry is still being researched. Towns up here, not being occupied. Builders shanking the wall. Asura broken its way forward. Here more farms being established. Red's going for some frontline farming. Trolls being blown up by blue. No cave trolls. Throwing axemen, more ballista and huskarls. Battle war pushing forward. The Asura has pretty good frontline as well as mid-range unit, but does go down there. We do have Fenris Wolf Brood deployed on the field. He's trying to fall back. Another Asura here. Let's see, has gone for this one. Reduce the improved attack speed. Very nice. And as this one starts running away, they can still at least do some torching damage. Making it a bit more difficult to kite away around them. Let's see this upgrade here. A champion Yari Spearman gets increased attack speed and movement speed. Very nice. So we do have the Susura push way forward. Number of backline units here. Master Swordsman has a very nice ability. Got the Divine Shield, Solar Shield. Making Susura's ability solar powered there. Great AoE damage hitting all those forces. Susura slowly being picked on off. More samurai being pulled in the field. Various stuff over here. And one thing I should mention as well, the 3.5 gold trickle is pretty nice as resources being consumed. In actuality, there's still gold here. Improved capacity here, really helping out. Max capacity is 7,000. Improving the capacity by 1,700 is significant. This makes the gold deposit just ever so more effective. This one still has gold remaining in here, 700. Well, that's purposeful. It's still increasing the capacity, so the increased gold capacity from just Amaterasu just being very useful. For example, that 3,000 gold deposit is going to be consumed quicker than this one looks like. Who's gone for a good number of ox caravans. More Fenris wolf broods being pulled in the field. We've got the siege Oyumis now being pulled in the field. More shinobi being pulled in the field. Thor's actually out of food income. I just realized that. That's a bit of a problem. He's actually out of food. He's low on all resources as well. They both have 100 civilians. Thor actually has 101 civilians, probably from the Dwarven Armory, but still, he's out of economy, which is probably going to mean game over for him. Amaterasu with the gold trickle, and not to mention improved gold income. Oh, the gold capacity. I think Amaterasu is just going to be able to eco her way forward. Amaterasu's not being super aggressive. We do now have more shinobi, which is good building killers. That's probably a good transition. Loses town sort of means losing a valuable trade path. They're going, some are going this way, most are going this way. This is definitely the safer path for them, but still. These forces moving around. Shinobi being produced. 110 military units versus 28. Yep, looks pretty much in favor of Amaterasu at this rate. Resources spare. Could actually get a Titan Gate relatively soon. Some magic grenadiers mixed on in. They mostly do crush damage, but their divine damage has AoE. Another exotic doggo. And red or blue does back of the game now. Zangrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay for tonight. So everyone, thank you for watching. Have a good evening.